Hey guys, I'm Nate. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be asking ourselves, is the Hellcat really worth it? I stumbled across this article. I'll put a link down in the description. You guys could take a look at it. But basically it was 4 reasons not to get a Hellcat and why you should just get an SXT instead. So let's break this down. All right, so number 1 is the power, right? So SXT, 300 plus horsepower, plenty of power for daily driving, right? I think everyone can agree with that. 300 horsepower is actually a decent amount. My first car that I bought, Nissan Xterra, had 170 horsepower out of V6. That seemed fine for daily driving. So 300 horsepower is almost double. So it should be totally fine, right? Yeah, okay. Makes sense. It's a big car though, but so was the Xterra. It was an SUV. All right, so plenty of horsepower in SXT, which comes down to the next item, which is price. So the SXT, that's like a $30,000 car, pretty nicely equipped. And a Hellcat, you're looking at 65, maybe 68, $70,000 for the Hellcat, depending on what you get. And that's double, right? So you could buy like 2 SXTs, or you could buy like an SXT and something else, like, I don't know, an SXT and a Camry, I don't know, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, that's a lot more money, right, for the Hellcat. And then on top of that, and you've seen the gas price. I don't know if you guys saw my last video, but my fill up was, it was like close to $80. I mean, I was pretty close to the bottom of the tank at that point. But gas prices are going through the roof. And the SXT, I think, gets gas mileage of somewhere like 19 in the city, 30 in the highway. I'm getting something, I don't know, let's take a look here what my fuel economy is nowadays. It's probably not that great. 11.7. That's what, like a third of what you get with an SXT on the highway. Granted, not all my driving is on the highway. That's a big difference, right? So not only are you going to pay more money for the car, like double, but you're going to pay more money in gas, right? That's an ongoing expense. And on the same matter of cost, the Hellcat, I mean, it's relatively inexpensive compared to a car, I guess you would say, it has this much horsepower. But brake job, if you get that done, that's going to be, you know, probably over $2,000 for rotors and pads. And the oil change, you know, 7 quarts, full synthetic. If you take it to the dealer, probably a couple $100 oil change. And then the clutch on this one, since it's a manual, it's probably gonna be like a $2,000 replacement. So I mean, all that stuff adds up, right? This SXT, it probably doesn't really have, I mean, you don't have to worry about the brakes and stuff as much. It's probably just pads, routine maintenance, oil change, probably not that much. And then the last item they have is you can get the SXT as an all-wheel drive. I really like that. I really do wish they had an option here for the Hellcat with an all-wheel drive, but I understand the reasons for that. If you want an all-wheel drive Hellcat motor, well, you got the TRX, you've got the Trackhawk, you've got the Durango now, so those are all good options. So yeah, why bother, right? Why bother with a Hellcat? Why not just get an SXT or even a Scat Pack, you know, save some coin? There's just something about this motor, right? So obviously, what are you paying for, right? The double. You're paying for the upgraded suspension, which comes with the upgraded brakes. You're paying for some of the nicer stuff on the interior. You're paying for that motor, right? That's glorious 6.2 liter supercharged V8. And that's what it comes down to, guys, is you got pay to play if you want this much horsepower. Is it worth it? To me, it's worth it. I don't know. I think it depends on your personal situation. If you're just someone that wants transportation that goes from point A to point B, yeah, it's probably not worth it. But if you're someone that enjoys driving a car like this and enjoys this specifically,
Can you go fast?
sure. So you're not going to get that in an SXT. So that's what you're paying for in this car. One thing I should note, you kind of have to compare this car also to other cars in this price range. So for $60,000, $70,000, you could probably get a BMW M3, M4. You could probably get an Audi S5, maybe even an RS5, or you could get a Mercedes C63. All great choices, great cars. But let's talk about those for a little bit, right? So less horsepower. So I think the BMW and the Audi are probably going to be somewhere in the 400 in terms of horsepower, and the Mercedes is going to be, you know, somewhere in the 500s. I think it depends. They have that power package that bumps it up a little bit. Have the brand cachet. I mean, it's a Mercedes, right? That means something. My only thing though is, well, you think maintenance on this car is expensive with the $2,000 brakes and the $2,000 clutch. Yeah, you're in for a surprise if you go the European route, right? So your maintenance costs are going to be a lot more. If something breaks, after the warranty. Like for example, if I had to replace a supercharger on a C63, like I'm having to think about on this one, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more expensive of a repair than I'm looking at for here. So that's something to think about, right? These are domestic US cars. The pricing for the parts are cheaper, right? So am I expecting Japanese level reliability in this car? No, I think it's respectable for what it is. But what I do know is if I do need to replace something, it's probably not going to cost as much as European luxury. So something to think about. So what do you guys think? I'd love to hear from you. Put it in the comments. Do you think this car is worth the upgrade? Almost double the initial price and the ongoing fuel maintenance costs. What are your thoughts? Love to hear from you. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out these next ones, and I'll see you there. Thanks. Bye.